Nioday was a huge success and provides Nio with another EV model. But is everything as good as it seems? Nio stock has taken a bashing lately, but could the tide be about to turn for Nio? In this video I look at the latest developments from Nio and I look at the fantastic Nio ET5 and everything that it brings to the company, including a possible negative effect that this might have on sales. I will also look at some issues facing Nio right now and why the future should be bright for Nio and why I agree with analysts who rate this as a buy with huge upside. Will Nio stock explode on Monday? Maybe not. But will Nio stock rise in 2022? I definitely think it will. Thank you so much for recent support of my channel. And with my previous video getting over 400 likes, I really appreciate the support. Can you help me get even more likes on this video? This is not financial advice and I encourage everyone to do your own due diligence and consider subscribing to the channel to stay up to date with Nio and other EV stocks. Now let's dive into it. William Li began by unveiling the company's plans for global expansion, saying Nio will enter Germany, the Netherlands, Sweden and Denmark next year. The company has already entered Norway, which is its first expansion into the European and overseas markets, and Nio opened its first overseas Nio house in Oslo back in October. But let's look at the map that highlights the countries that Nio is planning to expand to. This is the map from the Nioday presentation. Nio is planning expansion into the world's biggest markets. Along with the already mentioned countries, there is also huge markets highlighted here such as France and Spain, Ireland and the UK and Australia, but also the US market. This is huge. This would provide Nio with an opportunity to take on its major world rivals across the world's biggest markets. Also, I did not know that Nio was planning to expand into the Irish market, so personally I'm very happy to see that and I look forward to driving a Nio. Nio aims to serve more than 25 countries and regions worldwide by 2025, and Nio plans to have more than 1,300 battery swap stations, 6,000 supercharging piles and more than 10,000 destination charging piles in China by the end of the upcoming year. So this all looks very promising for Nio, and especially after they smashed their 2021 targets too. And Nio's European expansion plans will no doubt be helped greatly by the recent deal that Nio signed with Shell, the strategic partnership with Shell that includes plans to install 100 battery swap stations in China by 2025 and construct and operate pilot stations in Europe for 2022. As a result, Shell's charging network in Europe will also become available to Nio users. And this also comes after Nio entered into partnership too with Sinopec, the Chinese state-owned oil producer, for a strategic cooperation on the deployment of battery swapping stations. Nio said that they will leverage respective advantages to develop innovative cooperation models for both global energy and automobile industries. In addition to unveiling its expansion plans and the new ET5 model, which I will look at in just a moment, Nio also announced the launch of a program called Clean Parks, which aims to help protection of environmentally sensitive areas. Over the next 3 years, Nio will invest over $15 million to support the use of electric vehicles and the construction of clean energy infrastructure in nature reserves around the world. Nio will help these regions build a clean and low carbon energy, self-cycling system to guard the originality and integrity of the ecosystem. This is Nio's latest effort to promote the reduction of carbon emissions and environmental protection after the release of its Blue Point program on Nioday 2020. So far this year, Nio has supported several nature reserves in China, and then came the most exciting part of the whole Nio event day, the unveiling of the Nio ET5. At the event, the company officially began the pre-order of the newly unveiled model and said the model is expected for delivery from September 2022. For customers who buy the car with battery pack, prices of the ET5 stand at 328,000 won or $51,000 for the version with the 75 kilowatt battery pack and 386,000 or $60,000 for the 100 kilowatt version. Users who select the battery as a service solution will buy the car for 258 won or $40,000, while also needing to pay extra fees for the battery rental service on a monthly basis. The ET5 has been designed with elements from both the supercar EP9 design and the ET7. The ET5 comes with 9 exterior colour schemes and 6 interior colour options. while a panoramic and immersive digital cockpit boasts AR and VR technologies. The cockpit will create an exclusive indoor space enabled by the all-new 256 colour ambient lighting and surround sound system. So all in all, this car looks very impressive, but it does look very similar to the ET7 in my opinion. With the ET7 due to begin deliveries in March 2022, I have to wonder how much of an impact that the two cars being so similar will have on the sales of each one. The ET7 is priced at around $70,000 US, while the ET5 can be bought for as little as $40,000 using the battery as a service option. So this is a huge price difference, and although buyers will have to wait until September for an ET5, this is only 6 months longer than the March ET7 release date. I think that this could add risk to the ET7 sales going forward, but there is a much bigger risk facing the company that I will speak about later in this video. Now, looking at MarketBeat, we can see that Nio is trading at $30, which is at the bottom of its 50-day range and 52-week range. In fact, on Friday, Nio dropped as low as only $28, which is the lowest the share price has been in 2021. This stock had gone as high as $67 earlier this year, so it's crazy to think that the share price has more than halved in just 1 year, in which the company has made such progress and began to expand around the world. With that being said, this week has seen a new price target set for Nio stock, with Deutsche Bank analyst Edison Yu setting a price target of $70 and reiterating his buy rating. In his December 15 notes, Edison Yu sees the ET5 taking on rivals in the mid-sized premium segment that includes the Tesla Model 3 in China, as well as the BMW 3 Series and the Audi A4. By 2023, he expects the ET5 to outsell its larger counterpart, estimating 65,000 deliveries that year versus 60,000 for the ET7. Looking at TradingView, we can see that Nio stock has taken a bashing this year. After making huge gains throughout 2020, Nio is actually down more than 43% so far in 2021, and I will look at some reasons for this in just a moment. When we look closer, we can see that Nio stock has been moving consistently downward since the beginning of November, in a time where the EV market once again took off. And we've seen stocks like Lucid gain back all of 2021's losses. We also seen Tesla reach all-time highs and become a $1 trillion company before Elon Musk started his sell-off, and we've seen Rivian IPO and the share price rise rapidly. So what has been going on at Nio? And there are several reasons for this, which together have caused a perfect storm that has seen Nio's share price drop so much. The first reason is the most obvious and has affected the whole market. And this is the latest Omicron variant that is spreading around the world and has sparked fears of a market crash, just like we've seen in March and April 2020. The second reason is the rising tensions between the US and China, and the delisting of DD Global from the US stock exchange brought with it fears that many other Chinese stocks would end up getting delisted too. But the biggest fear right now is that of Evergrande going bankrupt, after ratings agency Fitch downgraded Evergrande and two of its subsidiaries to the restricted default category after the firm failed to make scheduled payments on dollar-denominated bonds. A restricted default means a company missed interest payment deadlines, but has not yet been subjected to the bankruptcy process. The fallout of this could potentially be catastrophic because problems in the real estate market often translate into falling property prices and an increase in bad debts in the banking system, which in turn leads to investors less willing to give companies money for investments. We have known about the potential of Evergrande going bankrupt for quite some time, but people tend to not think of the knock-on effects. Evergrande has more than $300 billion in debt, but it also has 200,000 employees and creates employment for around 3.8 million people indirectly. That is like the population of a small country that will be affected, and this could have very serious knock-on consequences, which I spoke about in detail in a video yesterday, so check that out for more detail. Despite this, I remain more bullish than ever about Nio stock. The progress that the company is making is tremendous, and deals that they have recently signed, especially the deal with Shell, paves the way for Nio's rapid expansion across the globe. All in all, as fear, uncertainty and doubt spread across the markets for one reason or another, I see this as the perfect opportunity to buy the dip. So guys, that brings us to the end of the video. If you've watched all the way through, you are a true legend. Please hit that like button, it really helps the channel out a lot. I think that Nio has huge potential, and I think that Nioday 2021 has been a huge success. What do you think of Nioday, and what impact do you think that this will have on Nio stock in the coming weeks? If you're new, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter, and I'll catch you in the next one.